explore OA, Coast City. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do.
How do you weave it into the narrative that somebody like they're just handing out, Green Lanterns like
Right.
a bag of Fritos?
Well, luckily in the comics that situation has happened before. We decided not to make them full-on lanterns because it would kind of break the fiction of the game. So you're a reservist and you don't get the emblem, but you get the power ring, and you basically are tasked with certain missions on behalf, so you're helping out the actual lanterns.
Okay, now let's talk about the constructs. Like, how do you choose your favorite children? When you can create anything, how do you pick which constructs?
It's amazing. We have the technology where it reads your brain and it creates exactly what you see in your imagination. It's fantastic technology. Actually, it's 24 constructs that you can choose from. So you get different ones depending on whether you're a hero or a villain. It's like a jet plane. There's a claw. There's all these cool things that are created, and it's almost like you're creating them out of your imagination. It's very spectacular. It's very cool.
I think one of the greater challenges of Green Lantern, I think it's similar to Superman in this way. He's so powerful.
Right.
That how do you keep him balanced in the game when he really has almost godlike powers?
Well, I think that's part of being a reservist, right? And then, the whole thing about being powerful is that you're fighting equally as powerful villains, right? So you're going to be matched up against Sinestro. If you're a villain, Guy Gardner, Atrocitus. So there's a lot of big, heavyweight villains that require the kind of power that only a power ring can give you.
Right. And speaking of villains, thank you for putting the Red Lantern Corps in this.
Yeah.
I've wanted somebody to throw up on me in a video game.
Sure, absolutely. That's right first.
Really appreciate that. But you're kind of famous for being obviously a comic book creator, right? What's it been like working on this game? I mean, you really guided creatively a lot of what this game is.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting learning experience for me. I mean, when you work in comics, you're working with a handful of people. It's a very quiet internal dialogue that you're creating. You read the script, you think about what you're going to draw. In games, you're working with teams of people, sometimes like very remote places, and it's all about getting your thoughts on paper, like really breaking down your style, explaining why you draw things, the proportions you use. And so it was really me dissecting my own style, and it required a lot of thought that I never really thought. And you did everything on instinct before, and now all of a sudden I got to create this master document about why I draw the way I draw. So it was really interesting.
Obviously, there's a very big reboot that's coming with 52 different books.
Absolutely,
in DC.
yeah.
Are we going to see in any way have an impact on how DC characters are represented in the video games?
Well, actually, because there's so much financial investment in building the models as is and the skins, it will be impossible for us to go and reskin everything. So that said, if you're a fan of the classic DC line, the game is where you should go, right? What we're doing in print is it's a publishing initiative. We kind of wanted to take some of the ground that was ceded to all these ancillary adaptations like film and animation and games and really do something spectacular and unique in print. And so we are introducing new characters, new costumes, renumbering the books, doing digital day-to-day, a lot of really cool stuff that has never been done on this level before.
Okay, and let's speak to the video game fans a little bit. What can they expect from DC Universe Online outside of the canon stuff? I mean, people, when you roll out an expansion pack, if they've already been playing it, they're excited about new content.
Absolutely.
But people that have never seen the game before, what are you saying to them at this point?
It's a very different kind of MMO. I mean, it kind of bridges that space between a traditional MMO and your single player console games. So it's got that kind of action, but it's got that community as well. And what the cool thing about it is that it's very fast-paced. You can get to maximum level pretty quickly, right? A lot faster than these other games. You're never going to be bored. You can't put down the controller and walk away. You'll be dead when you come back. So it's really fast-paced and action-filled. The other cool thing about it is based on the DC universe. So if you love Batman, Joker, Superman, you're going to be in there fighting alongside these characters or against them right away. And so, and there's lots of other characters and storylines that you will never have seen in other film or adaptations, cartoons. We're really getting into the secondary and tertiary characters of the DC universe.
All right, well, Jim, I want to say I do agree. It is an incredible game. I do recommend
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.